Luke, we're coming off the back of a record-breaking win, 4-0 win against St Albans. We spoke after the game, and you had a bit of champagne after that game, I believe. You had to then get up for an interview in the morning. How's the week gone since that game against St Albans?
Listen, I'm a strong believer of parking results and wins as soon as they finish. But I said to the group, enjoy that. People being a good 2/3 of it being your home support was immense. And look, I've heard a lot about the stats and how they had a good amount of possession. I get them stats, and I understand if that was in a closer tie, like a 1-0 or a 2-1, they're irrelevant. When you go and hit them for 4, stats go out the window. I think in a lot of our games this year, we haven't been dominant on possession, haven't been dominant on the amount of passes, but we've been very dominant on, on being clinical and efficient. And I said it last year, we were the second highest possession-based team in the division after Notts County with, I think it was 61% possession. I think we collated up to the second most passes out of everyone in the division. We're a different entity this year. We're a different side. And I think I spoke about set pieces. I spoke about being the most crosses of balls in the division because I looked at Hartlepool, I looked at Torquay, I looked at Sutton, and we got 2 goals from crosses, probably 2.5 goals because Mendy's crossed. But yeah, a lot was being said, but I fully enjoyed on Monday night to go and put one over your local rivals. We did it 4 years ago. We done them 3-0 the last time. To do them 4-0 at home, it's just a shame we didn't really have a moment with our fans. Obviously, I get jumping the barriers at the end to an extent. It would have been nice if we'd had a moment to allow for the fans to celebrate with us. But again, hopefully they come out in their numbers in next home game against Wealdstone and also against AFC Wimbledon in the Cup. But you know how I work now, mate. That's done now. We worked today on Thursday. I spoke to the group, addressed them with regards to what I felt we done well on Monday night in today's meeting. But yeah, I changed it to the focus solely on Woking. And I said to the group, there can't be no after the Lord Mayor show. It can't be we're on a high and then go and serve up a poor performance against Woking. We need to ensure that we're right on it. They're looking for a result. They'll give everything to their manager and their personnel in there that want to get a result. So yeah, the focus quite quickly turned to Woking, in all honesty, mate.
And one thing we didn't talk about the other day was Adrian Clifton, scored his first goal for the club. How impressed have you been with him so far?
Just as a person, he's bought right into everything. We've had people come in and training, Niall being one, and they talk about the togetherness this group has. And you need everyone buying in. You need everyone pulling in the same direction. If you have a tugboat as such, as opposed to a lighthouse, someone going away from where you want to go, there's problems. But Cliff is probably the perfect example of buying in. He's probably accumulated minutes of about 40 minutes in the last 10 games. But when he comes on, he gives everything. And you talk TV4, we do a huddle before every game we go out there, and I'll pick a certain individual to give me a little bit in terms of rallying the group. I have to say, I go to Cliff on a lot of occasions, and I went to him on Monday evening, and if you see it, he's so passionate. He's finger pointing at everyone saying, this is what you got to do. So yeah, I've been impressed more so about that. And for him to get his goal, I'm buzzing for him. I've got to be honest, he's done everything to try and miss it. But yeah, he's been a credit. And every single one of them, there's people disheartened not playing, and I get that, but every single one of them are brought right into the group, and that's something that we've really, really echoed this season.
And the final thing I've got to talk about Woking is people expected them to compete for the league this year. They find themselves in 14th. What do you think going into this game changes your mindset compared to what you would have thought about this game at the beginning of the season?
Nothing at all. Listen, everyone wants to go for it. You're foolish if you don't want to go for it, and you got to inspire a group and a dressing room to say, look, we could be the Barrow or the Suttons of this world or the Harrogates of this world, but I'm realistic. I got to be honest. No disrespect to Woking, we're in the same category as Woking. When you got the likes of Chesterfield, Stockport, Notts County, Grimsby, Wrexham, these are big, big sides in the National League. And yeah, I think being as competitive as we have been this season has been great, been absolutely amazing. But Woking going full time and bringing the personnel that they brought in recent, well, in the summer especially, doesn't give them the God-given right to go and get competitive in the National League. They are competitive. They've been competitive under Dowse. He's a fantastic manager. Does a certain way. He recruits a certain individual. And you look at the personnel he brought in this summer in terms of the likes of Champion, Solomon Boyd from St Albans, good athleticism, gets around the park. They like to pick up loose balls. But again, they ain't got the God-given right to go and compete. I respect them as a club. I respect him as a manager. I respect their personnel they have to their disposal. But now the mindset is the biggest game of the season. I said it on Monday night to the ITV cameras that St Albans was the biggest game of the season, but that wasn't because it was St Albans in the FA Cup. It was because it was our next game. And that's stood us in good stead in terms of having that mindset that win the next game. We have to win the next game, and that's where we're at as a club. And we need to ensure that that continues over the course of the season. Consistency is key. Injuries and suspensions are key. We go to Woking with huge respect for that club. They'll have a fan base there that are right behind the management and the players, and we need to ensure that we go there and put on a polished performance. And we've got them coming up, and that's all we have in our eye line in terms of the next game. And that's all about where we're at, winning it and focusing on Woking.